Hey guys, it's
Tick.
and Tech.
Welcome back to DS3.
Yeah, buddy.
We're gonna avoid these crews. We're gonna go fight a boss.
What already?
I only have 6,000 souls. I'm not worried about launching. Yeah, already.
Damn.
There's only 2 bosses in this DLC, and then there's 4 in the other one, and one of them we may never beat. So,
But why?
because the other DLC is way fucking harder.
Awesome.
Like way harder.
Harder than the second game?
Probably not, but that's because the second game is made of bullshit. So, not because of any other reason. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, he's already passing.
But like the third or second DLC for this one is about as hard as the entire second base game, and that's because it's difficult, but it's not like unfairly difficult like the second game is. You know?
Fair enough.
But whatever. It's not that important.
Oh, man. I've been waiting to take my drugs all day.
Are they just like painkillers or?
That's it, just painkillers.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
But like, oh boy.
Dude, they gave me painkillers when I wrecked my longboard.
Yeah.
I really didn't need them.
No.
The first or the second night, something like that, I took some, and then that was it.
Nice.
I didn't touch them again after that, and they gave me like 2 weeks worth or something.
Yeah.
Come on, teleporting toggos, let's go. They do teleport.
Teleportate?
I sent you one recently, the Technologia.
Oh yeah.
And it was the beaver. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The beavers had built their dam around
yeah.
a satellite.
How freaking silly. So, Brayden, you broke already? Did you spend all your money yet?
No.
Not yet.
Freaking. Apparently, I overpaid, and so we don't owe anything for the power this month.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So,
How do you overpay?
do it.
Or like, how do you end up overpaying? That's
Because I was told the wrong amount to give to them. I was told literally double what our bill was.
Well, at least they stayed true and they didn't like try and.
Well, and if they had tried to like weasel out of it, basically, and their records were found out, because it could have been found out pretty easily, they would have lost so much more money than just being like, oh, you overpaid. You have $400 credit to it.
Oh, okay.
Like,
fair enough.
Because realistically, how that interaction goes down is like, oh, we unaccidentally overpaid, but we didn't get any credit for it. Where did that extra $400 go? We're suing you for like reparations and shit now. And then they would lose in like such an absurd amount of money that it literally wouldn't even be worth it to them.
True enough.
You know? No, that's how he got me the first time.
Damn. Dude, he one-shots you basically?
No, he riposted me. That's why he dealt so much damage.
That's wild. That's so much.
That's dinosaurs, I think.
And this says, die. Pantalaza, sun-favored. Ooh. When it or another dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may discover X, where X is that creature's toughness. Do this only once each turn. Discover X. What is discover?
Discover is like you draw a certain number of cards, and then you... I don't know exactly. It should tell you on there.
It should, but it doesn't.
It might on the actual card, which is in there too.
I doubt it. I doubt it will tell me any actual card. It does, look at that. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with that mana value or less. Cast it without paying its mana cost, or put it into your hand with the rest of the bottom of the library in any order.
So it's kind of like Cascade.
Yeah, except you get to put it in your hand. If it doesn't, if you, without paying its mana cost, yeah. Cast without paying its mana cost, or put it in your hand. So you can choose to not cast it. A non-land card. and it could literally just be anything.
Yeah, but it has to be with casting cost X or less.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean that's pretty good. But you can only do it once every turn, so that's like the trade-off.
only once per
Yeah.
turn? I thought it was once per dinosaur.
No, once per turn. I'll look just to make sure.
You literally just had the card in your hand.
I did, but I put it back. Do this only once each turn,
Oh,
so it's a little unfortunate.
that sucks.
Yeah,
Whatever.
because doing it only once each turn is kind of rough. But I mean, play one good-sized dinosaur, and
Yeah.
get yourself some good free spells. Mountains and land. Any cool land in here?
Not really. It's just land. It's just land. Yeah. Normal land.
Normal good
Yeah.
stuff.
Trying to kill the fucking grave tender. Ah!
Is that working out for you?
This Great Wolf's fucking my day.
Oh, jeez. Get creamed.
Excuse me, man.
Maya, can you do that somewhere else?
She's like right next to me, like, too.
Yeah, it's just chewing on the bone thing. Just crunch her teeth down. Alright, let's see. Life Crafter's Bestiary. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay one green. If you do, drop it. Oh! Slippery lands,
Yeah, those are new sleeves, obviously.
obviously. Zakama Primal Calamity. Vigilance, Reach, Trample. Enters the battlefield. If you cast it, untap all lands you control. Pay 3, it deals 3 damage to target creature. Pay 3, destroy target artifact from enchantment. And pay 3, you gain 3. And those are red, green, white. Xenagos, God of Revels. Indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, Xenagos isn't a creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and gets +X until the turn. Where X is that creature's power. You winning?
And,
Oh, I made him talk and now he's going to lose. Bink. Huh?
fucking, I dodged both of those. Apparently.
Doesn't work. Regisaur Alpha. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. When it enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. Cool. Quartzwood Crasher. Whenever one or more creatures you control with trample deal combat damage to a player, create an XX green dinosaur beast creature token with trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player. It's pretty good though, actually. That's something I find really funny about the dinosaurs, is like they're crazy because like you spend like this guy's only 5 mana to drop.
Yeah.
He's a 6/6 with trample just already for 5 mana. But then he also has this ability that makes it like crazy,
Yeah.
where you're just dealing damage and you just get a shit ton of tokens. It's freaking annoying. Wayward Sword Tooth. Ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. Okay. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. When it can't attack or block unless you have the city's blessing. Okay, well, you have it.
Right.
I guess unless you control, you have to control 10 or more permanents, so I guess.
Yeah, but that's easy to do, because, like, lands are permanents.
Yeah, but he's also worth playing as is, because he's a 3-drop, and you get to play an additional land every turn. So, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a mana ramp deck.
Oh yeah, it'd have to.
Its name is literally Velociraptor.
It's silly.
It is silly.
Verdant Sun's Avatar. Whenever it or another creature enters the
No
battlefield under your control,
fucking way.
you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Taperi Stomper. Vigilance. Enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. It can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands. Shifting Ceratops. This spell can't be countered. Protection from blue. Pay 1 green. Gains your choice of reach, trample, or haste until end of turn. That's you technically you could give it all of those things until end of turn. Runic Armasaur. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability, you may draw a card. It's pretty good. It's good. It's good.
How many lands have not mana abilities though? Like, honestly.
It's ability of a creature or land
Oh, okay.
that isn't a mana ability. So I mean,
Of a creature
lots.
or land.
Yeah, so lots of them.
I thought it was just land.
Oh yeah,
because
that
that's
would
all
be,
I heard. I'm like, how many lands actually have that kind of ability? Not
yeah,
many.
Yeah, not many. But yeah, because it adds the creature, bam, real good.
Yeah.
You can be drawing cards all day. Rishkar's Expertise. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. You may cast a spell with mana value 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Seems kind of broken, don't you think? You pay only 6 mana for this. That's fucking wild. So you pay 6 mana, draw 2 cards, or draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures. So you draw a shit ton of cards, and then you have to play one of them for free.
It's not necessarily the best though, because
No,
you
it's
could
pretty good,
theoretically draw like 16 cards, play one of them for free, but then you have to discard down to 7 if you want in the mana.
It's true,
I mean,
but like still, it's fucking crazy. Ripjaw Raptor. Enrage. Whenever it is dealt damage, draw a card. Nice. Return of the Wild Speaker. Choose one. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. Okay. Regal Behemoth. Trample. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch.
ha!
Whenever you tap a land for mana while you're the monarch, add an additional 1 mana of any color. It's pretty good. How do you take the monarch away from somebody?
You just deal damage to him.
Dang. And did they become the monarch then?
Yeah.
So you'd have to deal damage back.
Or
to them
you can play a card that makes you become them,
and just steal it back.
and
that
just
way.
steal it back that way, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Rampaging Brontodon. Trample. And when it attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each land you control. Nice. Nice. Descendant's Path. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card that shares a creature type with a creature you control, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't cast it, put it at the bottom of your library. Yeah, that's pretty good though. Because it's only 3 mana. You don't have to pay its mana cost. So if you literally have like a crappy like 3-drop dinosaur out, and you and this procs, and you like the top card of your library is a fucking like 12-drop dinosaur, you can just play it for free. That's really nice. For only 3 mana too. Death Gorge Scavenger.
Got him. It only took me way too long.
Yeah, no kidding.
Shut up. Only I'm allowed to say that.
No. Whenever Death Gorge Scavenger enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile target card from a graveyard. If a creature card is exiled this way, you gain 2 life. If it's a non-creature card exiled this way, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Apex Altisor. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. Enrage. Whenever it is dealt damage, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. But
Fighting is cool.
so when it enters the battlefield,
Welcome home, master.
fights up to one target creature you control. Yeah. Is dealt damage. So I'm assuming that fighting a target creature doesn't count as taking damage.
No, I think fighting, it literally says that these creatures deal damage equal to their power to each other.
Well, then this card would be an infinite loop, and it would just infinitely deal its damage until it dies. Because it's whenever it's dealt damage, it just does the fight again.
Huh.
And so obviously it would die, so you don't want it to fight infinitely, but that means you could literally just have it fight like 9 1/1s
Right.
and kill all of them.
Should look at the rules for fighting. Because I think literally what it says is it deals damage
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
to each other.
Is if that's
So-
the case, then it just does it like infinitely,
Yeah, I know.
which would be pretty.
That's why I'm like, maybe it's you get to choose whether or not it fights, but
Yeah, no, it
I
just
don't
says
know.
whenever it is dealt damage, it fights up to one target creature. So it probably doesn't work the way we think it does.
because that'd be fucking weird mostly.
Well, yeah, well, it would just kill itself. It would die as soon as they entered the battlefield.
Yeah,
Because it would just have to fight, unless they ran out of creatures.
which is a possibility.
Yeah, but then next time it takes damage, it's just gonna fucking kill itself again.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Could give it indestructible theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah.
It would just deal an infinite amount of damage.
It's true. It's true. How does Apex... Oh...
I'm looking for. Oh, that's what it was. The toy.
Okay. No, it won't fight forever. For one, sensibility says up to one target.
Oh, okay.
You can, you can choose 0 targets, so it doesn't fight. Second, if it does get into a fight, when it takes lethal damage, then it will die before the next enrage trigger would even go. And it wouldn't fight again since it's not on the battle. Okay, so it does work the way that we think it does.
Right.
You just can choose to not attack somebody. Or not to have it fight.
Yeah.
It fights up to one target creature. So you can, though, have it fight 9 1/1s and kill all of them.
Yeah.
And then just...
And it's a 10-10.
Yeah, it's a 10-10.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said up. That's why I said. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it would die the next time it fight. And you don't want that. That's fucking wild.
Fucking 4 2/2s and a 1/1. Like,
Yeah.
you can get rid of a lot of shit with a 10-10.
Yeah, you really could.
And it's every time it takes damage.
Yeah.
So
it's fucking,
you could just bolt it.
Yeah,
Or deal like a measly amount of damage to it.
yeah. Hit it for 1 damage, and then it just fights the fuck out of a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it fights 8 other creatures.
Yeah, basically. Just fuck some shit up. That's wild.
That's fun.
Alright. Martyring Raptor. Creature spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 2 damage to it. Creature enters the battlefield under your control. It deals 2 damage to it. If a dinosaur is dealt damage this way, this card gets +2/+0 until it's over. That's interesting. That's...
I know you didn't see that. I just chased a Titanite lizard off of a ledge.
Wow, this is kind of like a self-destructive card
What?
because it's literally just so your spells cost less to cast, like your creature
Yeah.
spells, right? 1 less. But whenever you play a creature spell and it enters the battlefield, this just deals 2 damage to it.
Yeah, but it gets +2/+0 until end of turn for each dinosaur that's dealt damage that way.
Well, yeah, but
Right?
if you
and so
but
if you play a bunch of big creatures that are
yeah, but
not
what I'm
going to die
saying is you
from that,
can't
obviously.
play small creatures.
Yeah, I know, but like,
But he's a 2-drop, so you're literally going to be you would be dropping him so early on in the game that like
Yeah.
you'd have to hold on to him.
but he's only a 2/2.
He's a 2/3.
He's a 2/3.
Well, no, but I'm saying
So, but like if
it's self-destructive.
you could kill him if it becomes necessary, and a lot of the dinosaurs are way bigger than 2 anyways.
Yeah, but I'm saying he is
So-
self-destructive.
Yeah, a little bit for sure, but like again, dinosaurs are only like generally are only so large, so like it's not a huge deal because they're dinosaurs, which is why that card works at all. You know what I
but
mean?
it would still
It's
be
like
rough.
complaining that a beast deck has only 6 drops in it or something. Like
It's not the same.
it is because
Literally not the
dinosaurs
same.
are inherently such large creatures that it'd be difficult to play something below 2 anyways.
Not really. The card I was just looking at before that, this card has only got a 3/2. But then with one of the other cards where it's like whenever it deals damage to a player through trample, you create an XX creature. If it only deals like 2 or less, that creature will just come out and die instantly.
Yeah,
So I'm saying I don't know.
and
if,
that's fair.
it
But like,
depends on what your situation is to whether or not he would be worth playing.
right?
But he is he's like a double-edged sword, is
For
what
sure.
he is, because he gives you the buff of playing for cheaper, but he also means you can't play certain weakness of creatures. But if you have a buffing out that gives any of your creatures blessing just permanently, that's when you'll see that he doesn't actually cause any issues.
Yeah.
Because then he'll just deal the damage, but then they won't die because
And they're dinosaurs, and so he's getting bonuses anyways.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's a whole thing.
There's a lot that goes into
Give
it.
it vigilance as well, so you can amp it up and then fucking play dinosaurs on other people's turns. Still attack with them and stuff.
Basically, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know.
There's
You
a
know.
bunch of fucked up shit you can do in Magic. It's great.
If you know, you know.
I appreciate the combos that you have to work for. You know,
Yeah.
like in my Planeswalker deck, which I didn't. I left it behind because my backpack was too heavy.
That's fair.
Um,
You brought 4 decks in this box.
I brought more than the fuck. So
Which one?
I brought 8 to 12 decks, something like that. But I left a bunch of the double ones behind
But why, Brandon? Why'd you bring so many?
because
There's just so
if we
many.
played more, I would definitely play them all. But I'm like, I want the options.
Because we only can get 3 games in
Yeah, I know. We can only get so many games in, but
for the,
and also like Connor is boring, so he doesn't want to play as much.
Connor likes to play.
Yeah, a little bit. Last time we played 3 games because he didn't want to play anymore.
He played a whole lot that night, but then
We did play for a minute.
yeah, but then the next day he only played 1 game, I think.
I thought the next day he played 3 of us.
No, I think he only played 1, and then he just
Yeah.
sat over here and was like, I'm hungry.
Sounds like him.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Fiery Confluence. Choose 3.
Oh shit. I'm so fucking dead.
Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. It deals 1 damage to each creature. It deals 2 damage to each opponent. Destroy target artifact.
And it says
Choose 3. So and you can choose each
so
one
you
of-
could deal 3 damage to each creature.
Yeah, you can deal 3 damage to each creature. Itali Primal Storm.
Yeah, I fucking love Itali. Itali's dope.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whenever it attacks, exile a top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying the mana cost. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. Chandra's Ignition. Ugh. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. Seems kind of fucking rude, honestly. That's basically a board wipe in most cases.
Yeah.
Especially for this deck, if you have that guy who's a 10/10,
Yeah.
it just deals 10 damage to every creature.
But I get to keep that creature.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is
So-
it just board wipes basically everybody else? Because odds are they do not have creatures that can
That big.
survive 10 damage straight to the face.
Right, and that's why Blasphemous Act is fine in my Hydra's deck because it's gonna be surprisingly rare when I don't have a Hydra that's 13 or more.
Yeah.
Like,
But this card's basically better than
Yeah.
Blasphemous Act
for sure.
because it doesn't attack target yours and it's only 5 mana to cast.
Oh, it's only opponents' creatures.
Yeah, only opponents'
Oh,
creatures
that's even better.
and opponents themselves too.
Yeah,
Well, deals damage equal to its power to each. Oh no, each other creature.
That's what I thought. I'm
And
like,
each other. Okay, that makes more sense.
so Blasphemous Act would be fine. still.
Yeah, they're basically the same, but this makes it so like it could be more.
Yeah.
It could just be more. That's
Well, and like it's because like theoretically it'd only be like I wouldn't even have to choose a big creature. I could choose something like a 6/6,
yeah,
and then everything above that will survive,
yeah, which would be most likely all your shit.
but nobody else's.
Yeah, but the biggest advantage with it too is that if you have a creature out that's like really big, you might be able to just kill an opponent by using it.
Yeah.
Just end their life. 'Cause it's like, oh, I only have
There's a
15
card
health.
in it's either the Vampire or the Pirates deck that's super fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll know when you see it,
No.
or I'll mention it when you mention it.
No. Never. Zetal Primal Dawn. Flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, and shuffle. 8 drop, 4/8. It's just silly. Just silly. Awakening Sun's Avatar. Awakening Sun, yeah. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, destroy all non-dinosaur creatures.
That's cool.
Yeah, for 8 mana, board wipe. But you also get a 7/7. So, win.
But
Temple,
it's not dinosaur creatures, so I board wipe everybody else's.
pretty much, unless they happen to be playing a dinosaur deck.
It's probably unlikely.
Yeah, not very likely, but
Especially considering I only play with you idiots.
it's true. Except for Zane, he plays on something.
Sometimes.
Does he play the Commander?
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't play dinosaurs. He plays werewolves like a fucking tank.
Oh.
And he doesn't play casually like I do, right? He plays douchebag. You know what I mean?
He wins
Eh,
all the time.
Well, I mean, he does win a fair amount, but Brianna and I will team up on him because he doesn't play casual decks. He plays intentionally like tournament ready decks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to play against you if you're gonna play like that.
Because you're a coward. That's why.
No, because I know it's not healthy for me to be so competitive.
Yeah, so you're a coward.
No,
You're afraid of heart attacks.
no, I'm not afraid of heart attacks.
That's what
If
sounds
I
like.
was afraid of heart attacks, I wouldn't get as mad as I do. But
So you're afraid of the heart attack.
no,
Afraid of your blood pressure.
I'm in fear for my blood pressure occasionally.
See? Coward.
Occasionally.
Cowardice.
I should do it. It'd be easy.
Cowardice.
Very few people would suspect me.
Cowardice. Temple Altasaur. The source will deal damage to another dinosaur you control. Prevent all but one of that damage.
Hell yeah.
It's so just all but.
Oh! Dude, you know what?
Hmm.
That means that other card,
Mhm.
that it would
Yeah.
take it down to 1.
Yep. So literally, you could kill a 6/6 and it would only deal 1 damage. So you could literally kill like 9 6/6s that somebody has.
Oh, that too. But I mean, freaking that other card where he gets +2/+0 for each dinosaur that's dealt
Oh,
damage when
yeah.
it comes into play.
It would,
That's
yeah.
also only 1 damage.
Yep. Yep. That's
So
pretty much
perfect.
it. Works out. Kinjali's Sunwing. Flying. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield attack. Well, that's just
I fucking love shit, but I'm still trying to work on my turtles to make them better, so it's like all your shit is just perpetually tapped forever.
forever and ever and always.
I bet there are cards that are like permanents your opponent's control don't untap or stuff.
So what you gotta do is you have to put tap counters, like freeze counters, on people's creatures.
Yeah, stun counters and stuff like that.
And then have a way of multiplying those counters every turn.
Stop shooting me, ridiculous. Oh yeah, just rack up stun counters and proliferate.
Yeah, you just keep proliferating them so they never go away.
Yeah, that's a good one, I guess.
I mean, it's like it's an
It's-
additional like way of doing it.
Yeah,
That you could,
it,
like,
it would
add.
just require like a slightly weird combo set that I don't think my turtles specifically
Yeah,
are.
I don't
like,
know if the turtles
Would
have
be
that.
adept for, you know?
No, I don't really think they have that. They do.
They need more mana ramp too if you want to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
which like they already need more mana ramp.
Yeah.
So
That's a tough part.
yeah.
Okay. Akroma's Will. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn. Creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors until end of turn. Well, that just seems kind of redundant.
Well, then it says you may choose both.
If you have...
You don't have to.
Well, no, it seems redundant with the
Yeah.
indestructible and protection from all colors.
No, because indestructible, like
Well, I
it
know.
protects it, but it can't. Then protection will give it like you can't force tap this creature. You can't target it with like minus counters or that kind of thing.
You just can't deal damage to it with, like, creatures. I just think it's weird.
Yeah,
It's
I
like a
know,
weird
but like
addition.
it feels fine to me because like
It just seems unnecessary.
I didn't make it. Oh well. It doesn't seem redundant to me just because like there are -1/-1 counters and that kind of thing, you know.
Well, yeah, but
Which-
I mean, like,
A card with protection from everything will have protection from. Like,
yeah, but it only doesn't until end of turn. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
it feels a little redundant because it's like, well, it just goes away at the end of the turn. So, does it really matter? Like, unless like it's very, I feel like it's very situational.
for sure.
Very situational. Progenitor's Icon. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Add 1 mana of any color, then tap it. The next spell of the chosen type you cast this turn can be cast as though it had flash. Sunfrill Imitator.
Ah shit.
Whenever it attacks, you may have it become a copy of another target dinosaur you control, except its name is Sunfrill Imitator, and it has this ability. Okay, that's really good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Copy that one with fucked up attacks.
Yeah, exactly. Scion of Calamity. Myriad. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of this creature that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. Exile the token at end of combat. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls.
Well, because those are copies. Those have it as well,
Yeah, pretty much.
which is dope. I fucking love Myriad. It's so good.
So silly.
There's a card in my scroll deck I have that has Myriad. So you do it twice.
So dumb. Just create 2 tokens.
Yeah. For each creature, or each player not being attacked currently.
Yeah. That's really funny. That's silly. What a silly little guy. Ah.
I was being shot by a bunch of shit. Yeah. Quit it. Dickheads.
Don't zippy.
Already zippy.
Oh, Brayden, you weren't supposed to zippy.
I already did it.
You weren't supposed to.
I already did it.
You weren't supposed to. You ruined everything.
I'm going for it. Bam! Got him.
Gonna be. Alright, let's see. A dinosaur egg. Evolve. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put those count on this creature. Okay. When dinosaur egg dies, you may discover X, where X is its toughness. Okay. Cool. 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 You winning yet? Meh. Oh, let's see.
Ah, leave me alone, crow bitch.
Curious Altasaur. Vigilance Reach. Whenever a dinosaur you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Wrathful Raptors. Trample. Whenever a dinosaur you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dinosaur. Interesting. Interesting. I'm getting like slight sliver vibes from this deck.
I know.
Because dinosaurs just buff each other, which is,
Yeah.
more unique. I mean, I think they do it. Yeah, they do it similarly because it's less. Because like I was just saying, like the soldiers buff each other, but no, soldiers buff each other like damage wise specifically.
Yeah.
But these guys are buffing each other with abilities, which is, you know.
See,
different.
they remind me of slivers, but I don't think they're enough like slivers.
No, they're not
Like-
nearly as like combo like.
Yeah,
Slivers are.
it's not like freaking. What are they called? There's no. They're basically slivers except for colorless.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they have Rossi.
Yeah.
Whereas those are like copies. Whereas in there are some that are like, oh, this one specifically dinosaurs buff this creature in this way, but only this creature gets that benefit. You know?
Yeah, well, that makes sense. From the rubble. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. At the beginning of your end step, return target creature card of the chosen type from your graveyard to the battlefield, with a finality counter on it. If a creature with a finality counter on it would die, exile it instead. Okay. Bronze Beak Forager. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to one target non-land permanent that player controls until this card leaves the battlefield. Pay X and white. Put target card with mana value X exiled with him into its owner's graveyard. You gain X life. Myriad Landscape. So more lands. Choose more lands.
Obviously, they haven't been shuffled up yet.
Soul Ring. Arcane Signet.
Okay, so Ring's so good.
It's like a staple, you know. The commander deck, you just have Soul Ring.
Yeah, because there's no reason not to have a Soul Ring. Because a turn 1 Soul Ring is so useful
It's true. Just Soul Ring.
as a turn 1 Soul Ring.
You always Soul Ring.
Yeah, there's no reason not to Soul Ring on your first turn. Unless
you
you
can.
have something better somehow, which
Yeah.
is super rare and nigh impossible.
Okay.
So,
It's true enough. Rhythm of the Wild. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Non-token creatures you control have Riot. They enter the battlefield with your choice of a +1 counter or haste. It's pretty good. Raging Sword Tooth. Trample. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each other creature. Interesting.
wipe out an army of goblins.
Basically. Raging Regisaur. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to any target. So just 1 whole damage.
Maya?
Somebody doing something out there? Shay out. Shay's not outside. Unless she went to the room, so the door's closed.
Maybe. I don't know.
At Zokan Seer. Add 1 mana of any color. Sacrifice it. Return target dinosaur card from your graveyard to your hand. Alright, I'm going out there. Somebody's about to die. I know what it is. Shay hung up this thing on the wall there. It's like a lizard. It's like vertical and stuff.
It
And the
just
wind
makes
is like-
noise.
Yeah, the wind is knocking it around.
Great.
Alright. Thundering Spineback. Other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1. Pay 6. Create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. Thunderherd Migration. As additional cost to cast this spell, reveal a dinosaur card from your hand or pay 1. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Okay. See, I really think Haro is an underrated card. Because I never see it anymore.
What does Arrow do?
It literally, so it's 3 mana,
Yeah.
1 green, 2 colors. As additional cost to cast this, you sacrifice a land. And then you search your library for 2 basic land cards. And you just put them onto the battlefield.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're basically paying one land to do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I feel like it's underrated because like with this card specifically, you're paying either 2 mana or 3 mana to get a tapped land, one tapped land.
Right.
And I'm like, a Haro would be literally so much better because it's still a basic
Really?
land card.
Game? You're gonna fucking do this to me?
But it's like in like a 3-color deck, right?
Right.
Like this. That could be game changing
Yeah.
because you literally pay. You have a green. You have like one green, 2 color, and 1 colorless, or like a Soul Ring out, and you have another green land in your hand, so you're not worried about it. So you sack the green land, pull out literally, what is it, a red and a white land, and then
Right.
and then your next turn you play your other green one, and suddenly you have 5 mana
Realistically,
and 1 of
what
each
it
color.
is Harrow isn't tournament legal anymore.
It would,
And that's what they base it, the precons off of.
that'd be well. It also could just be it's like too good for them to be putting in pre-con
And
decks.
they haven't played first.
That would make any sense though, because Black Lotus gets to be in Commander, so why wouldn't Haro?
Right, and so it's probably not tournament legal because of time.
Because of just time,
Yeah, whereas Black Lotus has been reprinted a few times.
has it?
Harrow might not have been so far.
I didn't know Black Lotus has been reprinted.
It's got reprinted like twice. Like maybe.
Yeah,
And once was in beta.
that was silly.
So
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but the Haro is newer than.
yeah, but what I'm saying is it might not have been reprinted like close enough.
I refuse to. These guys. I want to look up to see how much Haro is even worth. It's not worth. I
15.
don't think it's worth that much.
I'm calling it $15 because it's that's a really good card.
I don't know if it is $15.
I'm calling it. Look it up.
I am looking,
I know.
but it's in my.
I'm making it a guess.
What's your? Well, you're wrong. Haro, 50 cents.
Damn. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And this Haro is worth 35 cents. I mean, because like I would have assumed it would be better, just because it's just so much more useful. Maybe it's just the act of having to sack your lands.
But no. Like,
Sacrifice a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic hand cards. Put them on the battlefield and shuffle. That's it. So they come out untapped. It's an instant as well. So you can cast it during other people's turns. That's fucking wild.
my jelly beans were delivered.
Nice. And it has been reprinted recently too.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a relatively recent reprint. There's lots of different versions of it.
It's legal and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a better card.
It really is.
Like, yeah. It just puts this card to complete shame.
Yeah.
'Cause
What is
it's-
that one?
It's a 2-drop sorcery with
I was
either
wondering what card it was.
Thunder
Yeah.
Herd Migration. But you can either, I mean, like, it's cool. You pay 2 mana and you get to go get a tapped land because you just show a dinosaur card that's in your hand. But like, you could also just like pay 3 mana and get 2 cards that you would need for your colors.
It's unfortunate that Vilgrim's such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your slivers are 5 color, aren't they?
Yeah.
You should consider putting a Haro in there.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Just because of that reason, because it's 5
I don't
colors.
know what card it is. Kodama's Reach. It does something kind of similar,
Yeah. What does it do?
except it's like way worse than Harrow, obviously. Yeah.
What does it do?
I know it's in one of those decks.
What's it called?
Kodama's Reach. It's a green card.
Kodama's Reach.
Yeah. Kodama's Reach. You know, it's Reach.
No. $1.31 though. It costs more to buy it. It's an arcane sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put one on the battlefield tapped, and the other in your hand. Then shuffle. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why would this one be in? This one's $1 more expensive, and it's just worse. It's the same
Is
mana
Harrow a
cost.
common or uncommon?
Doesn't shit matter.
Yeah, because rarity matters a little bit when it comes to pricing as well.
I guess that's fair, but it's like, it's definitely common. Just straight up. But like, I would every day choose Haro over that card.
I know, but they put Kodama's Reach in everything.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know.
it's because precons are like specifically designed for like a more friendly newcomer energy,
I suppose.
right? And so instead of trying to get a newcomer like basically the best deck, right? They're like, here's like a kind of shitty entry level deck so that you and your friends can all play together and learn the game together.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. I just feel like Haro would. I mean, just such a small. Hey, look, Diablo 4 is installed. But I just feel like it's such a small, like, thing. It's not even like a big, like, complex action to perform.
Right, but it's like that's just a really good card. I've noticed they very commonly put shittier versions of cards in
Yeah,
precons, not because the cards themselves are expensive, but because the other cards are just so much better that you would have to go and like be like, okay, I actually want this card, and then at that point you're invested in the game.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're actually thinking about it at that degree.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody who's just trying the game out will not notice the difference between Kodama's Reach and Haro.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't even know Haro existed.
And that's my point, though, is that it's literally, it's so that it's at a much lower level of entry for everybody involved.
Yeah. It's just weird, because I threw Haros in my original version of my Angel deck. And like it just works so well, because what I end up doing, right, is by the time I get to probably turn 2, because I play land turn 1, like some elf, and then turn 2 rolls around, I play another land, tap the 3, sack a land, play the Haro, go get 2 more lands, and then I use those 2 lands to either play a Nurok, a Greaves, or maybe some more mana creatures.
For sure.
And so it's like, it just because it just helps out so much. And then in that deck, of course, I do have stuff that returns my graveyard back to my library.
But also, at that point, you've just taken 2 turns worth of actions in a single turn. So it's
true.
Immediately already made the game far more complicated for somebody who's just starting.
It's true. It's true.
And that's what Commander is a more casual, normie style play.
I just never see Haro.
Right. Honestly, because you've mentioned it, I'm probably going to go through every deck that has Kodama's Reach in it
Yeah.
and replace it with Haro
Yeah.
because it's a better card. I could sell the Kodama's Reaches and make money.
Yeah. It's just wild, because I mean, like, Haro's pretty good. I mean, like,
that is a very good card, and it's again probably straight up just more for beginners, and it's like, oh, we'll just be like, it's a more normie style thing of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the trade-off is you have to sack a land. So,
Yeah, but, like, that's
it can be like
For sure,
it
but
can be tough.
That's totally fine when you are overflowing with land because you played a Haro.
Yeah, or like if you're literally sitting here and you're playing like a 3-color deck and all you have is green.
Yeah.
You just sack a green and you're happy.
You go fetch the other 2 colors that you need for this card.
Yeah, you just straight up just go get the other 2 and complete your ensemble with 1 play. And you could probably still play stuff too. Alright, Savage Stomp. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a dinosaur you control. Put a +1 counter on target creature you control, then that creature fights target creature you don't control. And it's only a 3-drop, so. Damn. Ranging Raptors. Enrage. When it's dealt damage, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. What the fuck? God damn, that's brutal. That's really good, though. If you can deal damage to it, you just be getting lands all the time.
Yeah.
Rampant Growth, we all know what that is. Migration Path. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. See? And that's a 4-drop. It has cycling, so I guess that's an advantage of having this one over Haro. But like,
and cycling is incredibly useful sometimes.
It is. Oh yeah, it is. It definitely can be game changing.
I don't ever use cycling personally because I forget about it. Basically, is what it is.
Yeah. But like occasionally, I'll end up with a card in my hand that has cycling, and I'm like, I don't need this card.
Yeah,
but
like
I need
very occasionally, I'll pull a card and it has like island cycling, and like it's better for me to play this as an island.
Yeah.
Than anything else.
Exactly.
Because an island is far more useful in this instance.
Exactly.
Because of reasons.
Alright, Farseek. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card. Put it on a battlefield tap, and then double. So now I can see this one being released. Because it's a 2-drop, sure, and you get only one land. And it
But
comes
you
with
can go
tap.
fetch a swamp island.
Yeah, but
or-
but it literally gives you
What?
the option of any card you might need.
Except
So-
for forests.
Except for 4. But yeah.
Yeah. But that's fine.
But it's
you
a green
need a
card.
forest to play it.
Yeah.
So
So odds are you have it, so you're good.
yeah, no, I actually do know about some of the cards like that just because they're in a lot of the decks I like to play.
Yeah.
Like, I think that one's in my Planeswalkers and my Slivers, and I put them in my Hydras
Hmm.
because obviously.
Obviously.
Why would I not?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Alright, let's see. Drover of the Mighty. Gets ++2 as long as you control a dinosaur, and add 1 mana of any color. Yep. Dude, I was playing with my proxy deck recently, and it is so funny to me how much better that deck is than literally any of my other decks. Because, like,
But yours is like a fucked up deck that's meant for tournaments.
yeah, well,
So-
it was, but now that I added the Tinker, and that just
And it's
like,
even more fucked up.
yeah,
the
just
Tinker is
completely
literally
broke it.
banned,
yeah.
so.
But like, what happens though is because of Tinker, I can literally get Blightsteel Colossus out on turn 2,
yeah.
and he is the 11/11 with Infect, Trample, and Indestructible,
Yep.
and it's fucking bananas to get him out on turn 2.
Well, you could do the same thing with your other fucking bitch that makes it so you can't lose the game.
yeah, exactly. I just pull the Angel out and bam,
Yeah.
so, and then I protect it. It's like,
Exactly.
boom, done. You lose. Suck it, idiot. It's really funny. But it's just funny how much it stomps out the rest of my decks. It just puts them all to
Yeah.
shame.
But again, that one's fucked up and made for tournaments. So.
Yeah, it's actually
Like-
a really good deck.
And it's like a tournament legal deck too.
If I take the Tinker out, yeah.
Yeah.
Cultivate. We don't know if it is. It's Quineth, firstborn of Gishoth. Haste. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 colorless. When you do, target dinosaur you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. Nice.
Oh right. The reason I was asking you about the PS5 was both it was on sale and also because freaking that's where we're gonna play Oblivion for sure.
Ah, yeah, fair enough.
So
Because you own it on there, don't you?
yeah.
You didn't, wait, oh, you didn't. So you bought it specifically on the PS5, not the PC, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, okay, this looks like a really high-res game. I don't think I actually have the specs for it. And then I looked at the specs and like, I think I barely scrape by with the minimum requirements.
That's fair.
So I'm like, I will never really be able to play this game, so I'm just gonna get it on something I can play,
Yeah, for sure.
because then I can play it all the time.
It's okay. Oblivion's not for a long time.
Yeah. So,
And so,
that's why though.
and so we decided we're gonna play Oblivion remastered when we get to Oblivion.
Yeah.
So like play the newest version of every game that we can in the
I mean,
series.
not necessarily, because Oblivion just got remastered, and it happens to be the same as the original.
Yeah.
And if it was significantly different,
I know they
I
changed
think
the
we
combat
won it.
a little bit. They changed
it's
the
more
combat. stuff.
Skyrim combat than
Yeah.
it used to be. But like everything else is almost identical.
Yeah.
So,
So fair enough.
and, like, because if they had changed it any more significantly than they did,
Yeah.
then I would be like, no, let's play the original.
Yeah, like the story stuff is all
But
the same.
literally everything is identical, and then the base game comes with all of the DLC and stuff
Yeah.
from the original release as well.
That's all that matters.
So,
Let's see. Otepic Hunt Master. Dinosaur spells you cost 1 less to cast, and target dinosaur gains haste until turn. That's just a win-win right there. Thrashing Barontodon. Pay 1, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. I remember the Thrashing Brontodon. That's why the name sounded familiar. This is definitely a reprint card. I've seen this guy in way older sets. Back before dinosaurs were like a
officially
thing.
a thing.
Yeah, they were just had some dinosaur cards, and Thrashing Brontodon was one of those cards.
Of course.
So silly. Ixali's Lore Keeper. Tap it at 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a dinosaur spell or activate an ability of a dinosaur. Earth Shaker Dreadmaw. Trample. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other dinosaur you control. Jeez. Path to Exile. Exile target creature. Its controller may search the library for a basic land card and put that card on the battlefield, tapped and shuffled.
I love Path to Exile. It's such a good card.
It's so silly. Majestic Heliopteris. Flying. Whenever it attacks another target dinosaur you control, gains flying until end of turn. Generous gift. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Bellowing Aegisaur. Whenever it is dealt damage, put a +1 counter on each other creature you control. That's good. And I'm assuming this guy could also be your Weta, Trainer Prodigy. Haste. Pay 3. Tap it. Target creature you control fights another target creature. This ability costs 2 less to activate if it targets two creatures you control. If your creature you control being dealt damage causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Okay. So yeah, I can see why this could also be your commander. Because that would proc pretty well with all your stuff.
In either the pirates or the vampires, there's like 4 creatures that could validly be your commander.
Yeah.
Because they're only dual colors, right?
Yeah.
And then pretty much every single legendary creature is both colors.
Of course. How fun. So I'm trying to say, what was it?
Those are the dinosaurs.
And there's a battlefield under your control. You may discover X or X. Okay. That's a tough fight. That's a toughie to choose between whether having the whichever one be your commander.
Right.
Because honestly, they're both really good commanders for this deck. But the only advantage with the other one is it's a 3-drop, and this is a 5.
Yeah, I feel like Gabe has that deck. He's like, it's all right. It's not my favorite though.
The dinosaur one.
Yeah, but also he has a vehicle deck that I really enjoyed playing, and he didn't like it at all. So,
Why not?
but obviously we're gonna enjoy different things.
True enough.
Just because we're almost the same person doesn't mean we are the same person. You know what I
I'd
mean?
imagine that is true.
Unironically, though, me and him are like, we have the same thought process. It's very rare that we aren't like unintentionally finishing each other's sentences.
How silly. What silly little guy.
It's very silly.
Silly little guy. I think he's been growing his hair out. Gabe.
He's been growing his hair is always been
Yeah, I mean, like, I saw him the other day,
yeah.
and his hair was like, you know, the classic, like, split down the middle and just, like, poof, but, like, it came down to, like, here.
Oh, so he cut his hair.
Did he? I thought
Yeah.
his hair was... Last time I saw him before that was when we played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, the last
D&D.
time I saw him, his hair came to his shoulders.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Jeez. What a freak.
So.
Restock all. Bam.
Okay, we have 2 minutes. I'm not going to make it past this in 2 minutes, probably. I mean, I might. I guess I could try, but I don't want to, so. We'll do that next episode.
Will we, though?
Yeah. Well, I'm standing right here, and we're about to record the next episode anyway, so.
No. I refuse. Get out.
Fuck you.
Alright, well, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing.
Definitely go check out our other content.
Till next time, peace out.
Bye-bye.